Raining.
Mhm. I'm waiting for Instagram. Hmm. Okay, there we go. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Biz Chat Daily. And today we're going to be talking about what? Just things that are happening in pop culture that is business related, basically. So that's kind of what
Right.
we're going to talk about, pop culture and business.
Yeah,
So, do you want to open us up or should I?
yeah, go ahead, open us up.
Okay, so today, I was just like scrolling through TikTok and just kind of looking at what's happening in on these TikTok streets, and I saw everything that was happening with the conversation around Ariana Grande and what's her name?
Cynthia.
Cynthia Erivo, right? Cynthia Erivo, and the fact that Ariana was paid 15 million for Wicked, and Cynthia Erivo was paid 1 million for Wicked, and Cynthia Erivo is actually the star of the show, and Ariana Grande is the co-star on this show. We know Ariana
Right.
Grande is a great, huge musical star, but on Wicked, Cynthia Erivo is actually the lead. And then I looked at everybody else's pay, and Goldblum was paid $2 million. The Asian lady was paid $2 million. I'm sorry, I can't remember her name right now. And then the other people, the other real supporting actors and actresses, were paid under $1 million. So anywhere from
Right.
200,000 to about, I think, 850. I want to
Okay.
say, were the ranges. But my problem was the big gap in payment between Cynthia and Ariana.
Right.
And
That I
to
mean, 1 to 15
me,
is huge.
yes, that's a
1 to 15 is
$14
huge.
million difference. That is
Right.
ridiculous to me. I We kind of discussed it before we got on here, and I'm just like, I don't care what they were offering on the back end. I don't
Right.
care about the other upcoming movies. I'm saying right now,
Right.
that's too huge of a difference. She's
Right.
carrying the show. Yes, they're bringing in the audience that Ariana has, and she does have a huge fan base. But, and I do understand them paying her $15 million, but paying Cynthia $1 million to me is absolutely unconscionable. She should have
Right.
been paid at least half of what Ariana was paid. So I would say anywhere between five to, you said about what, 10 million, I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
would have
five.
been.
Yeah, I think we were between like 5, 7.5, 8.5. But see, my argument was very similar to yours. I was like, okay,
Mhm.
what was negotiated up front? And we both work in management and we know how negotiations can go. So I was thinking,
Mhm.
hey, maybe they gave Ariana more. Again, the 1 to 15. That's that.
No.
That's still a big jump. However, my only thing was like, let's be clear about the audience that they were trying to attract in Wicked. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like tickets are already estimated to sell what 1,014, like 1,000,000 and like 100,
They already
over a
made
hundred million dollars.
164 million. Opening
Boom.
weekend was
So
164 million. Mhm.
and they're already talking about how tickets are going to sell out. My only thing was like, maybe they were paying Ariana more to pull on her fan base to get people coming out. Maybe it was something along that line. And then where we kind of really stopped was the brand endorsements. I had to double check to make sure I looked it up because I thought it was 400, but I was right. They had
Mhm.
roughly 400 global brand partnerships on Wicked. So between OPI, between Target, Mattel dolls, Stanley cups, you can get a wickedly delicious Starbucks drink. The Stanley
Mm.
mugs, like. They had appearances from the Met Gala. They were on the appearances from the Olympics. So I'm trying to think, 400 global brand partnerships. I'm like, how much of that was negotiated for Cynthia? How much of that was negotiated for them? Because even this article is saying that they really led Cynthia and Ariana, they worked really hard on this. They were everywhere and they did everything that we asked them to do. So
This
again,
was a
leading,
massive press tour, so I agree with that. Like,
right, that's what I'm like.
they were
But
just
who did they,
everywhere all the
but who,
time.
and again, if you listen to both of them, they both
Mhm.
talked about the partnership in this, the partnership in this,
Yes.
how they something. I do believe the conversation they had. They were at one of their houses, and they talked about going in this together and having this
Mhm.
partnership. I do believe that. I wholeheartedly believe that. I believe Ariana sat there and really was embodying the role. And again, you said it's going to be 4 more movies, so I'm
Mhm.
trying to think about that. So maybe this is me being hopeful. It's maybe it's 120. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
44,
Mhm.
57, 75. I mean, maybe eventually that's probably how she worked it out to
Mhm.
see how it's going. Maybe she got different stuff from the brand partnerships, especially with OPI, because everywhere Cynthia's been going, she's been showing
All
off
those
those nails.
nails.
So
Yes.
she had to get a little coin from OPI, and her
I hope
singing in that
so.
and then that Target, yo, I can go to Target and see little kids doing it. I see so many people trying to do that whole key and singing in the middle of Target. So I'm praying on her back end on these brand endorsements that it probably
Mhm.
evened out and maybe Ariana didn't take as much that way. I'm just hoping it.
Mhm.
But just the general optics, 1 to 15 is off. One to 15 is off.
Exactly. 1 to 15 is crazy
1 to
work. Like,
15 is crazy work. But again, I'm
mhm.
still thinking, let's be clear in marketing and in your brand presence, her personal brand. Ariana Grande has a huge personal brand, and that's why they were
Definitely.
afraid of her playing this role that her as a person was going to overshadow the character. However, I
Mhm.
do feel like because of who she is, they leaned into her audience, again,
Mhm.
who they're trying to market to. They leaned, and I'm looking at the brand endorsements. That is clear. They have a very clear audience with
I
this
didn't
movie.
realize that they had so many brand endorsements though.
Yes,
300? That's
yes.
wild.
And the only other reason I'm saying they're leaning into her platform, even if
Mhm.
you go to her TikTok right now, she's releasing nothing but behind the scenes video of her and Cynthia. From them
Okay.
being on set, from them doing
I
that. I
mean, their
have not seen.
relationship and their interaction is creepy as hell. Like, it's weird. I am so sorry. Like, I believe in girl unity, but they're overdoing it. I've seen so many
Want
what
me to
is it
tell you what
called?
it is? It gives me the same type of probably feeling, and people can come at me. Remember when Adele was really, really giving love to Beyonce, and people were saying how weird it was? I
I
think
didn't think that was
Cynthia,
weird.
I didn't either. But I
I didn't
think
think that
in
was weird.
Ariana's point of view, think about it. She's even had someone like Victoria Monet on her circuit.
Mhm.
I think she also sees the injustice. I think she has seen the pay discrepancies. I think she probably has seen how people talk to her over
Mhm.
Cynthia. So I think
Mhm.
Ariana did it to honor their agreement to say, hey, you're the lead in this. Even though I could seem that way because of my brand and my personal
Mhm.
brand, in this role, in this term, you're the lead, and I want to support you as that. And I think that's what they were trying to keep emphasizing, is that they did it together and it was a partnership. And I know
Okay.
it kind of felt
Okay.
weird.
I get that. I get that and I admire that. Love that
She
for
was
them.
like, but it's so
But
weird.
but that is all well and good. But
Yeah,
the all over each other and the constant, that's too much. That maybe because I don't like to be touched like that. Maybe that's
right.
why
Because
I'm
I was
seeing
like,
it that
wait a
way.
minute, because
But
if Drew Barrymore can go out here, how many seasons is Drew Barrymore on? Drew Barrymore is on 55 million seasons, and if she can sit in across and
crisscross
touch
applesauce.
and let me hold your hands as I say this to you. So I get it. Like,
Oh
it's like I
god.
understand it, but also too, I can't imagine 400 brand endorsements. You're literally internationally going all over the world traveling with this person. You had to be on set with this person all the time.
Mhm.
Like, I think that, like, again, like people are calling it like, your work wife or your work husband. Like you got to
They
think too.
definitely do act like that.
But again, remember, we're in business, and even look at the music business. You
Mhm,
can do a song in 2020, promote it
mhm,
all of 2021, you
mhm,
feel me, be on the road in 2022 and go on tour from it in 2024. So it's a
mhm.
very long process. So I'm
Yeah,
trying to
and
say
they've been
maybe
working
that's
on
what
this
it
for
is.
about, I think, 2 years.
Right. And then that
Yeah.
press piece,
Mhm.
that's a long time with somebody.
Yeah,
So I'm
that press
pretty
junket
sure
was unlike any other. I think the only other press junket I have seen
it's
that was
Barbie.
this detailed was who?
Barbie.
Not Barbie. For me, it
Barbie was
was
going.
the spinoff from Bridgerton, Queen Charlotte.
Yeah, with the whole cast. See, I
Yeah.
feel like with Bridgerton, it was like the whole cast. The only reason I said the Barbie thing was because of
Mhm,
how much she changed and it was everywhere. But I can see where
mhm.
you're going with Bridgerton in terms of a cast. That the
Yeah,
cast
no, with
themselves were everywhere and
Charlotte
talking.
and the two leads, the guy and the
Yeah,
girl, to the point that people started to believe that they were having an affair, and then their
right.
interaction got really awkward because I think his girlfriend was like, "You need to lay off,"
Because people are like he was
because
so intense. But I'm like, yo, think
both
about
of
your
them,
own.
they were like all touchy, like they were so in sync with each other. And I think after a while, the relationship, the interaction between them, after maybe about doing about 20 press junkets, you realize that they had very, very awkward interaction between the two of them. And I think it's because his fiance or whoever probably said to him, "This is getting ridiculous. You guys need to
The
stop
same thing
touching."
we're saying, that it's weird and it's ridiculous. But I
Yes.
guess for me personally, as somebody who's been a theater kid and worked with people that
Mhm.
way, I understand it because you have inside jokes. You start having inside conversations.
Yes, yes,
You're with
yes.
those people all the time. They're ordering lunch for
Mhm,
you, ordering dinner for you. Then they're
mhm,
coming, if you have a family, they're intertwined with your family. So I guess for me personally, as a Black
mhm.
woman, looking at, I know some of the girls is gonna come for me. Looking at people like Taraji, who did that whole, talk about pair
And
discrepancies,
that's
and
one of the things people have been comparing it to. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, so I think looking at all of this, how Black people have been treated in the media, being overlooked, that type of stuff, I just feel
Mhm,
like it felt so good to see two young women play such a massive role, and
mhm,
Ariana really, really supported her, even vocally. How they talked about doing songs and writing songs and mashing it
mhm,
together, and how she trusted
mhm,
her so much with her voice. So I guess for
mhm,
me, I'm trying to see, you get what I'm saying, the positive
mhm.
into that,
No,
and
there was a
hopefully
lot
we'll
of
see the new
positive
negative.
in this.
But
No,
that was
don't get
15,
me
Tracy.
wrong. There is a lot.
I
Huh?
said, but still, let's come back to the point. But the 1 to 15.
Yes, there's a lot of positive in this. I just think that the pay discrepancy between them is ridiculous. But I also understand, even though like it cringes me out to see all that constant touching and crying. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay, anyways, to see all that constant touching and crying and just fawning over each other, I just think it's just a little bit too much. But from a business perspective, it has worked because it has brought eyes to the Wicked movie. So people are like curious to see what is actually happening in this movie. Are they as cringy in this movie? Are they not? Like what the storyline is and all of that stuff. So for the movie producers, this has worked. This
Yes.
marketing, whether it was
Yes.
done intentionally or it was just that's just naturally how they are, it doesn't
I
matter.
think it was
It
a
has worked
combination.
because having they broke box office numbers this weekend with being, I think, the third or fourth high, the third or I think they're the third. I know they outdid Gladiator, that's for sure.
Yeah, I know they outdid Gladiator. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
it
to
took
their audience.
$145 million to make the movie, I wanna say, and so far with this first weekend, opening weekend, they made $164
Let's be
million
clear,
dollars.
they're
So,
gonna hit.
yeah.
I really think they're gonna hit like a 350 mark. I
Mhm,
wholeheartedly do. You got to think this is just the weekend before Thanksgiving. We all know
correct.
Thanksgiving weekend is gonna be crazy, so they're gonna
Mhm.
bat. Like, cause even with me, I'm like, girl, I might gotta go see Gladiator. I love it, but
I
But
know.
again, then you're pulling over right into December. They were, I
Mhm,
don't care. The marketing team completely ate this. If we're talking about marketing, they got it
Mhm.
from top to bottom. If you
Yes.
didn't know what Wicked was, it was
Mhm.
so many pieces of the story out there. It worked.
Mhm.
And if you do go and see their clips, they do look like they hate each other in this movie. So to then
Mhm.
see them as the two actors who,
Mhm.
you feel me, who did the roles, I see how the
Mhm.
whole story ties together, especially when we get into messaging and story and delivery of it, convincing of it. Because you can say a message, but how
Mhm.
convincing and how believable is it? You get what I'm saying? So that
Right.
even letting Cynthia be herself with the nails I just think it
Mhm.
worked for them to authentically be themselves and the whole night. You even seen Ariana get in on it because she
Yeah, they were
dropping them
embodying the
fragrances.
characters for sure. Yeah, they
She's
definitely
dropping
are.
them fragrances, baby. And we all know
Mhm.
fragrance, especially in the beauty industry. This is prime gold. So
Time,
Ariana
yeah.
is milking it too. And I think
Mhm.
Cynthia is doing the same thing. But yeah, that first initial pay discrepancy, I'm hoping something else comes out about it.
I hope it's what you
Um,
said. I hope that she is actually making quite a bit of money on the back end
I'm
with
hoping
brand
that is
endorsement.
that's
Yeah.
my hope, and especially
Mhm.
being who who they're rumor like who they're linking her with romantically is Lena, and Lena has been
Yes,
killing it
Lena.
in the
Yeah.
industry and with
Mhm.
contracts. So I'm like, I know your boo ain't gonna let you go out here and just Lena gonna come through.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking with that brand endorsements, your red carpet appearances, the shows she has been on, I'm
Mhm.
hoping she has an album, a project, or something that's coming right up under this that's
Under
going to
it,
still
right.
move that momentum. Yeah, that is
Mhm.
my hope. Because, like I said, Ariana is dropping that Ram Beauty. They did a
Mhm.
whole bunch of events for this. And again,
Mhm.
you're seeing her now build out her fragrance brand where you're really seeing her drop these fragrances right now before holiday. So she's milking on it. And I just hope Cynthia is doing the same thing. And I believe it. In my heart of hearts, I just believe she is. But
Okay.
that 1 to 50, woo, that's a jump.
So the next business hot topic, and let's hope to God the Barbs don't come get us. But do you want to talk about the TikTok live debacle with Nicki Minaj?
Yo, I'm still trying to figure out what actually happened. So it's so many pieces of the
Mhm.
puzzle I'm trying to figure out. First of all, shout out to her because she had like 10 million likes. So she
Mhm.
broke a TikTok record. And let me just say this because people go ahead and come at me. That's fine. I was like 10,000 likes. Did she sell 10,000 units?
That's
10,000
all she
likes
sold?
is no, but I was like, how many did she sell? Because they were
Oh,
talking about
I
her
don't
likes.
know.
I was
Yeah.
like, screw the likes, people. We are past likes. What was the engagement? How many
Mhm.
units did she sell? That's what I
Mhm.
really wanted to know. How many units of nails did she sell?
Mhm.
And that type of stuff. But to get the likes, to get the viewership, I thought it was amazing. Honestly, I was so confused with the camera situation. I didn't
Yeah, the
know because
camera
again,
situation was a mess.
I'm so confused because first of all, I agree with what tons of the comments says. This is
Mhm.
nails. This is nails.
Yeah.
It should have been tons of zooms ups on her hands.
Right
I love
over.
that
Yep.
it should have been a nail cam. It should have been
Mhm.
the first thing was a nail cam. But let me be clear. I love that she was getting her nails done. I love that she
Mhm.
had someone there. I told you before, she's done pop-ups before. I love the pop-ups. I
Yes.
love the vending machines. I think she
Mhm.
has a vision and I think she's seeing it through. However,
Mhm.
with TikTok and the lives and stuff,
Mhm.
like, I don't know anybody making money who's just gonna walk off. Like that
I
was a
don't
church walk
know
off. Like
if this is a TikTok thing. I think it was a production thing. Whoever was on that production staff just did not
again,
do a
that's
good job.
whoever her creative director was or
Yeah.
whoever that project manager
I've seen
was.
amateur
Again, that's what
TikTokers do better video visuals than that TikTok
but
with their iPhones.
I mean, I have a side note, and I'm going to say it to you
Mhm.
afterwards. And this is exactly for me why I wanted to do production from the beginning. And especially
Mhm.
as a Black woman, this is exactly why. Because when people jump up and say they're creative director, that
Mhm.
was that creative director's job. You should have
Correct.
tested all of those visuals ahead of time. She should have
Exactly.
been in there ahead
Exactly.
of time. You should have knew.
Mhm.
And from my understanding, and the reason I'm making a statement, but I guess I'm asking a question too
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
of how we talk. And I think you saw more
Mhm.
were they zooming in on her private parts or her butt or something because she
No.
kept talking about they
Oh,
were like
no. So
too
she had
thin.
her nails up like this, and they zoomed
Yeah,
all the way in on the nails, so they were kinda, like, up her nose hole,
got
right?
you.
And
And so
that's
that's
when
what
she
she was
said,
doing.
"Back up off my butt." Yeah, it was her face. She thought
Got
they
you.
were
So I was like,
zooming too close. Her hand was here, and she thought they were zooming in too close to her face. So
so
she
I'm
told them
just
to
like,
back up.
weren't I was like, weren't these angles tested? Was it other people? Was she? So it was just the show outline of it. I was so confused on the show outline of it.
Mhm,
I thought
mhm,
she should have been giving nails away. I thought she
mhm,
should have had that other people demo the nails out. But
mhm,
overall, I was
mhm.
super happy for her. I think nobody
Yeah,
was really expecting for her to show up.
I think it's great that she's diversifying her income stream because
Yeah,
we all know that music is not doing what it's used to do before.
the
So I think
past
a
she just
lot
did a
of
great
these
tour.
rappers, singers, whoever, they need to have multiple streams of income. You know, that's my shtick, right?
Right.
I'm all about the multiple
So
streams of
then let's
income.
be clear. So let's go ahead
Mhm,
and say it because me and you have already said it before. And if we're gonna go
mhm,
ahead and rip that band-aid, just go ahead and let
mhm,
it in and clean it out. I was surprised she did nails. Me personally, I was so
mhm,
surprised she
mhm,
did nails. Not
mhm,
saying her nails are not great, but I don't know her to be a nail person. I wouldn't
mhm,
have been
mhm,
surprised. This is me personally. If she did wigs, if she did
mhm.
colorful wigs,
I
I
really think
wouldn't have
that's
been
what she should
surprised.
do, a wig line. Yeah.
If she would have did like colorful wigs, long blondes, the
Mhm,
pinks, the
mhm,
reds, the purples, that wouldn't
mhm.
have been surprising. Me
Yeah.
personally, I think Cardi B is way more of a nail person. And I
Mhm,
think Meg The Stallion just started showing off her nails, but we all know Cardi B, especially when you're getting into the elaborate, the jewels and stuff, that
mhm,
turned into a huge trend. So I
mhm,
do see someone like Cardi doing something that way. For Nicki,
mhm.
I thought she would have went back. And I know she talked about trying to partner with Kanye before to redo
Yeah.
like another deal, but her product collab
Mhm,
was great. Those types
mhm,
of things were great. Even her going back to redo a Mac deal, I
mhm.
wouldn't have been
She had
surprised by her.
a line in Target at one point in time, didn't she? Was it
Yeah, it
Target
was
or
Kmart.
Walmart?
Kmart. Remember, she
Kmart,
had the
yeah.
young, right? So
And a
her,
lot of
and I
people
think
seem to have liked that line. I don't know
it was
why
so,
she stopped doing it.
it was very in that lane because you know, with her and Little
Yeah.
Wayne, it was very into that urban glam
Yes.
rock
Yeah.
type of thing. And
Mhm.
again, that Prada kind of simulated to it. And Rainbow
Mhm.
tried to take her a lot of her designs too and try to, flip
Really?
over it.
Of course.
Yeah. So I wouldn't have been surprised with that. Let's be clear, her
Oh,
fragrances
yes.
did
Those did well
amazing.
as well. Yeah, they
They
did
did
well.
amazing.
Mhm.
So I'm not surprised that she was in beauty. I was just more
Mhm.
surprised that she did nails versus hair.
Nails.
Hair can be tricky,
Yeah.
but yeah, I
Yeah.
was surprised she did like the press on nails. But again,
Mhm.
and it's even down to the name. I get where she was going, keeping it with the Pink Friday thing. But
Mhm.
again, to name a nail brand Pink Friday Nails, that kind of threw me off too. So I was
Mhm.
super
Mhm.
surprised with that.
Yeah. Um it just kind of takes me back to sometimes, something maybe she got approached. Maybe it wasn't something that she even thought about. It was probably
Could
something
have
that a
been
brand approached her about and she was
very
like,
true.
"Hey, why not?" Right? Because
Right.
I don't think out of her own mind that's the lane that she would have gone into. I think an
Right.
opportunity came her way and she and her team sat down and said, "Hey, this makes sense. We can just put my name behind it and endorse it and call it Pink
Call
Friday."
it a day.
Yeah,
Got you.
but really and truly what you said, I think she should get back into the fashion line, the fragrance, and the makeups, and definitely wigs. Definitely
Wigs, I just
wigs.
feel like
Yeah,
wigs would be her because
colored
she
wigs,
switches
like you
her.
said, the
It
colored
has
wig.
to be colored wigs
Mhm,
or the
mhm,
clip-in extension wigs because
mhm,
when you do, if you're going to look at to her, because you go into a market and you do the same thing. Cardi may switch up her hair, but Nicki
mhm.
got hair game a lot. She just
Yes,
does
for sure.
when it comes to
Mhm,
switching it up. Even on tour, I was like, girl, her wigs was looking good every time she switched them up on tour, and that
mhm,
normally
mhm,
does not happen that way for music artists.
mhm,
So
mhm,
I think that will work. But me personally, again, as a personal brand strategist, where I think she could make her money, I would love to see her probably kind of take a page out of Rihanna's book and do a
mhm.
very, very, very sexy lingerie line. Because of the way
Ooh.
she talks about her body, the way she
Mhm,
does it, she's always into putting her husband in different stuff. I think her doing a
mhm,
high end, really cute thigh highs, you feel me, waist,
mhm,
the really lacy bras, playing into
mhm,
all of those characters. I think she can completely get away with something like that because I think her brand is very sexy in that appeal. So the hair,
mhm,
I can see her doing lingerie for a long term. The
mhm,
shoes, not so much. Nails, we'll see
Mhm.
where it's at, but makeup and fragrance and her
Mhm.
getting a high-end fashion line, I think that just works for her. It
Okay.
just works for her, me personally.
Okay.
Yeah.
And our last hot topic
This is
around
funny.
messaging, around messaging and branding and stuff like that. I wish I had my other phone so I could look up the girl's name. Oh, I do. I was telling you that on TikTok, again, there has been this whole thing about fat phobia. So this young lady named Slim Kim, I want to say her name is, she came out and said, I guess her my account is logged out. Oh God. So she came in and she said that her biggest fear was about, I guess, getting fat. I'm
And I
paraphrasing,
broke
guys,
out
so
laughing.
don't hold me to it, right? It's something about like getting fat, and she loves being skinny. And sometimes it's not about what you say, and there's nothing wrong. Like my daughter is very, very thin, and people always talk about, oh my God, you're so skinny, and I'm like, there's nothing wrong with her. She's not so skinny. She's just who she is, right? And I'm a
Right.
big girl, right? I wasn't always a big girl, but I'm a big girl now, right? And I'm just like telling her, do not let anybody shame you about being skinny, right? About
Right.
being thin. This is how
Right.
your body is shaped. And I said, for your bone density, your height, how you're built, fat ain't for you, girl. Okay? Fat
Right.
is not for you. I say, trust me, keep the weight you have, stay within this range, right? Because once you start putting on the weight, it's so hard to lose it, right? And I said, it weighs down your body, blah, blah, blah. And this is me as a bigger woman talking about this. I'm not ashamed of my body. I don't feel I'm self-conscious about my body. I do want to lose weight because I know what I look like when I'm thin, and I don't want to be skinny. I want to be slim thick. Okay, because I got a big butt and some big hips and I got a lot of boobs, right? So I do want to lose some weight, but I should not be shamed about being fat. You don't know my health history. You're not my doctor. Why the hell are you talking about that? If you want
Just
to
like
be
you
skinny,
shouldn't
be
be ashamed of
skinny.
being
If
skinny.
you
Yeah.
want to
Right.
be fat. I am not going to, I mean, I can have my own opinions in my head, but for me to come out and verbally shame you for the way you look, to me,
Right. That's
is
crazy.
ridiculous. That's not your business.
Right.
Stay in your goddamn lane.
Right.
That's how I see it, right? We shouldn't be talking about people being too skinny. You can have the conversation, but like, unless a person looks like they're dying from being skinny or they can't walk because they're so heavy, otherwise to that, it's not your business, right?
Right.
So sometimes I think it's not about the message, it's the way the message is conveyed. It's the tone of
Right.
voice, the cadence, the body language that goes with it that tends to trigger people into, oh my God, I need to defend myself. And none of us need
Right.
to defend ourselves about how we look. Some people are skinny because of medical problems. Some people are fat because of medical problems. You do not know what's going on in people's lives. Because somebody's heavy does not mean that they're sitting down and eating down the world. And because somebody's skinny does not mean that they're anorexic, that every time they eat, they're in the bathroom vomiting. That's not how it works. And
Right.
I just think, like, if we're talking about business and messaging, that is part of it. And business and messaging does play into this, because one of the young ladies that came out to defend Slim Kim got her TikTok shut down because of it. You know what I mean? I don't know if she was truly defending or she was just saying, hey, what you guys are doing is too much. You got to look at it from both sides. I think that's more where she was coming from with it. But her TikTok got shut down. And from what she said, TikTok is literally 1/3 of her income. So now, basically, she's lost one of her jobs.
Okay, so then I would just go ahead and say it. This is why you got to be careful about what war you fight, because war is expensive. And
Exactly.
until people start looking at social media as, yes, it's fun and games. It could be for business. It could be whatever it's for. But when you choose to jump up and defend somebody or put your mouth on somebody, if we didn't learn
Mhm.
anything from Be Better, my God,
Oh
you
my
better be
goodness.
very You better be very clear about who
Yeah.
you're defending, why you're defending, and why you're talking
Mhm.
about it, and then
Mhm.
navigating it back into your lane and your place of genius. And I think
Mhm.
that's what people are messing it up on. Everybody's trying
Mhm.
to jump to somebody's different. I'm not jumping to, I'm not a medical health. You feel me? I don't have
Right.
enough language and repertoire to go
Mhm.
defend something like I don't. I'm gonna mind my
Yeah.
business because I don't.
Mhm.
Because first of all, from my point of view, the only time I'm judging somebody is usually how they look. I don't care if you fat or skinny. If it don't look
Mhm.
good on you, it doesn't look good on
It
you.
doesn't look good on you. Yeah.
Right. I'm talking about it from that end because I've seen some women who are plus size and can even a red carpet, skinny, even a red carpet, transgender, black, white, green, and they can slay a red carpet and slay their body figure. So I'm talking about it from that perspective. But to jump in it, again, to anybody, this, I just feel like we're in a time now. You have to choose your associations and you have
Mhm.
to choose your conversations and you have to choose what you're willing to jump into because that wreckage can turn around and jump on you and take you down. And now look, 1/3 of your money is gone and you want everybody to feel bad. War is expensive, and this is what
Mhm.
happens. So if
Yeah.
you have
But I
5
do
social
think that
media
taking her
platforms,
page down, I think that taking her page down because you
was
disagree with her
harsh.
point of view is whack. That's crazy.
Well, here's the thing, Tracy. We know we live in those times right now, especially in this
Yeah.
political climate. Everybody's on edge. Let's be clear.
Mhm.
You talk
I think
about
that's what it
people's
is, though. You said it. You
political,
just said it. I think the political climate that we're in has everybody supercharged. So
but
it's
think
like
about it,
a
Tracy.
hair trigger, right? You just
Boom.
touch it and it boom.
Ready to go. Because think about it.
Yeah.
You talk about people's who they gonna vote for. You talk
Yes.
about people's worship, their Jesus, they're not Jesus, and you talk about somebody's skin color or their weight. Those three areas, you already fighting. You
Mhm.
already fighting,
Yeah.
especially in America. So
Mhm.
those are such hot topics right now. You touching it and you're not clear how to navigate it, you're gonna get burned. Now, do
Yeah.
I think her page is gonna come back? I think her page is gonna come
Yeah,
back.
she has she
However,
can't I think she said she can't appeal it until after Christmas or something to that effect.
right,
Yeah.
she'll be okay because what she's gonna do, you can still post the stuff on it. You can still post on TikTok, and you're gonna do like other creators have done before. You're gonna cry, you're gonna beg, you're gonna plead. You're gonna start with your top. You're gonna start with your top. You're gonna cry, beg, and plead. After you do
Mhm.
that, you're gonna get mad and cuss everybody out, cuss the platform out,
Well, it
and
is
then
the
you're gonna go
stages
to
of
another.
grief. It's the
It's the,
stages
I'm
of
telling you,
grief.
it's the same thing in PR. That person is
Yeah.
going to go through it. By the time she gets on the fifth level, it's going to be
Mhm.
screw this social media platform. I'm on Instagram anyway. Da 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 da.
Well, she
And then
kinda
by
did
the
say
top
that
of the
yesterday,
year,
"Follow me on Instagram."
and by the top of the year, y'all, I missed y'all so much. No, you just got your page back. I missed y'all so much. It's a new year. It's a new me, and you're gonna be back to busting guns soon. We know the cycle. We know the cycle. We know the cycle
Yeah.
is people. We know it. So again, I feel super bad for her, and I do feel like people should defend people and stand up for people. But hence again,
Mhm.
I'm gonna tie it in and always link it back to community. This is why having a community is so important. This is why having your community, whether you have it in person or social media, is so important. So when you are
Mhm.
having these type of conversations, because you have these type of conversations, your audience is going to understand. But let's be clear too, Tracy. People got upset with her when she was like, her biggest fear was being fat. I laughed because it was hilarious. Because it was hilarious when you're already, you're already big and you're like, well, it's not that scary up here. But in her defense, if I've been skinny my whole life, like I'm gonna be
Mhm.
clear, I think you feel the same way. You love your breasts, you love your body. If we woke up the next day and called each other and I was like, Tracy, I'm a size 2, and you were, I will freak the hell out. I'm gonna freak out.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
would freak. I wouldn't know what to do in a size 2 body. I don't know what attention I would get with that. I wouldn't know how to dress it, clothe it. Like to wash a lot, to wash a little is a lot. I don't know what to do. So I understand where she's coming from. But again, we're open minded and we
Mhm.
can laugh and have those type of conversations. But let's be clear,
Mhm.
you already said at the beginning, messaging is important and tone is important. As soon as people heard those trigger words, it was that, 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 that.
Yeah. sometimes I realize that people don't even take the time to listen to the conversation in its entirety. They start a video, they hear something that triggers them, they're off the video and they're already making a comment or they're making a duet video to it. And I'm like, did you listen to the whole video?
But have you
Right?
noticed content creators are playing into that? I am watching people start to play into that. They're starting off by saying, "Let me first of all tell you why I hate all fat people." And then they'll say something just for shock value, and then as you
Mhm.
watch the video, they'll be like, "You know what I mean? That's why I'm dealing with myself because as a fat person, I don't even like me. I don't even be liking
Well,
how
I
much
mean,
I'm
that's
eating."
a good hook, right? It reels you in.
But
It's a good hook. It
that's
brings
what
you
I'm
in.
noticing people are doing. Hence again,
Yeah.
you still gotta have tough skin, that type, because people are
You
gonna eat you up
do,
and take it
because
that
there's
way.
some people who are not going to listen to anything beyond that first hook,
Da, da,
and
da,
then
da.
they're going to be down the
How do you not
street.
like fat people and you're fat? Did you
Yeah,
listen to the other part?
yes,
But the
yes.
first part of what you said,
So
and
it can
I've
become
noticed
a
that
double-edged sword. It can
it
definitely become a
can
double-edged
be.
sword.
It
If
can
you're
be.
going
So
to
that's
go for shock value marketing, you have to have the thick skin necessary to deal with the backlash for people who don't watch the entire video and are going to charge at you like a raging bull because they didn't take the time to listen to the rest of the message. So yes, when it comes to business and shock, because that is something I did that for a while. When I first started off, I built up my audience really quick by saying things that nobody else wanted to hear. They were facts. They weren't just for shock value. They were
right.
factual things that other people weren't saying, but I felt that people needed to hear. So it created a lot of controversy where people would be like every time I would come on and I said, "You don't own a nonprofit. It ain't yours. Cut it out." And nonprofit leaders will be like,
Tracy,
"What?"
you're gonna go to jail if you steal from your nonprofit.
Yeah. And then when I come on and I say that, like, listen, a lot of you out here are playing a dangerous game. You're going to jail, clank, clank, right?
You
And
hear
they're
me?
like,
I
what are you
didn't
talking
know
about? Da, 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 da,
it's
da.
not
But
true.
I know what I'm saying. So everything I'm saying is factual, it's based in
Right.
facts. But the way I'm delivering it is triggering to some people, especially if you know you're doing something in that area. You're running around here and say, I own a nonprofit. I own a nonprofit. And I'm coming out here going, you don't own that nonprofit.
All I can think
It
is
ain't yours.
every
You
time you
know?
say it.
So yeah. So it's like, so when you are doing like shock value type content, you're going to get shock value type
But that's what I'm
responses.
saying. And that's why you have to be clear too about who you're defending. And that's why I feel
Mhm.
like if you are going to defend somebody like that, they need to be in your community. So you know that person, you know what type of
Correct.
content they make, you know, like, you feel me? If you
Mhm.
write something like that, Tracy, and you be like,
Mhm.
hey, today's tip, don't steal or you going to jail. Like, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Or
Mhm.
I'm going to laugh at that
Mhm.
in your comment and it's going to be hilarious. So if
Yeah.
somebody jump on you, you get them saying, I'm like, let's look at the list of people who have went to jail this year who have stole from
Oh,
nonprofits.
but
So
I
y'all
don't
keep
say
talking
anything
about
that I
these.
can't back up, right? And so,
Listen, but and I know that about you. So me
yeah.
jumping on that, I'm not gonna lose in that. And that's what I'm saying. I think a lot of times people jumping on conversations to
Mhm.
also, let's be clear, who was it? James and Fahad. You jump on a certain
Oh,
type
yes.
of wave
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
you think it's funny and it's going to get you somewhere and you can
Yes.
mess around and get yourself canceled. So
Oh, that
again,
was that
I'm
was
a
that was the saddest. That James and
baby. When I
Fuad,
tell you
James
women
and
clean
Fuad,
up,
and Be Better. Those are the two biggest downfalls. And I'm gonna
downfalls
use
of
the world.
yo, Tracy, that's gonna be our end of year recap. We're gonna do Cat
Yeah.
Williams, but we're gonna do it in reverse. I think we should do that for people. We should look at the brands who this year really, really messed up that we saw them and they were
Yeah.
completely gone. But James and Faha was an example when women
Fuad.
say we ride at dawn, that
Yes. Yes.
because
Yes.
they were here today, gone tomorrow. And I have not heard
Mhm.
one person talk about them. I haven't heard
Mhm.
one person talk about how they missed them, nothing along that line.
This is when the
And be
community
better
truly got together and go, you're canceled. Okay? They were like, you're
collectively
done.
and
Yeah.
seen. And I
Yeah.
loved it. And the same thing for
I
Be
love
Better.
it for them because
And the
that was
same thing for Be
nasty
Better.
work. Yeah. Yeah.
I think he's on this new show right now and that whole nine. But again, it's
Why did my
while
phone
tons of
display?
people are saying, hey, like let's forgive him because, da da da
Mhm,
da. There's other
mhm,
people like his delivery was nasty. He was still nasty. He's still a
mhm,
rich such and such kid. And if you can sit
mhm,
here and sell some botanical jars of whatever for $850 a jar, he's okay.
mhm.
He's okay. He is okay.
Yeah. So when you sent me the clip of him
Pitching, doing the whole
on
little.
basically our equivalent of Shark Tank, talking about he's working out
What
of
is?
his
I don't even know
family's
the name of the
basement.
show. First, the
I
dungeon
don't
did
know.
culture
I don't
appropriation
know
or
because
not.
now he is no longer on TikTok, so he's not getting those TikTok checks. So he has to actually run his business.
Right, right, right.
Yeah.
Poor him. $850 a jar. You'll be
Yeah.
okay, baby. You'll be
Hmm.
okay.
Yeah. That is that really how
You'll be.
much his honey costs?
It's 800. It's between eight. It's between 350 and 850 a jar. But I think I want to say it's 850. So when I went back and watched his videos, excuse me, and his TikTok videos, yes, and because of how he sourced it, so
What?
he went to Greece to get
Uh,
these certain type of botanicals, and he's like he's the only person or the only company able to actually do that.
mhm.
So I'm like, yo, if you have to make that type of deal in licenses and travel, yeah, I can see it being 850 a jar.
Wow.
So
Wow.
once again, but he's the same one who was showing off a $10,000 jar of saffron. So hence again, you're gonna be okay. And that's what
Yeah.
people were saying before. His breakdown of brands, yeah, at the beginning was great, but once you really was trying to like rip people apart, it went down the street. But you'll
Mhm.
be okay.
Yeah. At first I liked his takes on, different celebrities and whatever, but then it
Right.
got really dark. Like it just went whoo left. Like he got some modicum of fame and recognition for the things that he was saying and people were agreeing with him. And it's like it just went to his head. And then all of a sudden his content
Okay, let's get
got
nasty.
extremely, yes, it got nasty. And I was just like,
But I think
this
people think
isn't
that.
yeah, I was like,
But I
this
think when
isn't
people give brand
constructive
critiques and stuff,
anymore. This is just
right,
you just really raking
nasty.
through a brand.
But
It
I
was
think,
nasty
but
work.
you said that before, and I think that's a good conversation to bring back up. So even though we're going to do our
Mhm,
end of year, but why
mhm.
is like companies like PR dying? And I think that's why it's dying.
Oh
I think
yeah.
people assume that you have to be mean in PR and you're nasty in
Mhm,
PR. And let's be clear, most people I've seen in PR are doing more PR for themselves than they ever talk about their clients. And if they are, again, it's nasty. So
mhm,
hence
mhm,
again, I think a lot of that stigma got caught into like I have to be nasty and gossip to
mhm,
be in PR. And I don't
mhm,
really think that's what it is. I think you can still be objective, have great points, and talk about how to navigate through it. Or better, you get what I'm
mhm,
saying? You can be better
mhm,
and hopeful and positive. But again, yeah,
mhm.
I think it didn't work for him because he thought he had to be nasty. I do. I think he
Yeah,
thought he
but
had to
he
be
has not
nasty.
made a video since like early August.
Yeah.
Because once you sent me that, I
I
was like, oh, he's still on TikTok. So I went to his page and I was like, oh my God, this last video is like early
wouldn't have
August.
made a video either. I wouldn't be making videos either.
Well, I mean, no, I thought he would have because of his marketing background. You should be able to bounce back
They
from
ate
this.
him up. They ate him up. They ate
Wow.
him up. Unless he was gonna come out
Never
with a
actually saw the video about what he said about Kamala. I never really
just
saw the video.
he
I
just
just
how he
heard
ripped
other people talk about it, but I guess whatever he said was like real bad because
it was just
yeah.
how he ripped it up. It was just all really, really negative. And people are
Mhm,
like, the reason people are saying we owe him an apology now because she didn't
mhm.
win. So they're like, was he right? And I'm like, no,
No, you
he
don't owe
wasn't
him an
right.
apology. With what he said was wrong, it was just wrong, period.
Right. I was like, no, it was tons of people who didn't think she was going to win. And they
Uh-huh.
laid out reasons why and how it could
Mhm,
be better. His was just like chop, 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 chop.
mm.
It was
Again, it was
really,
about
really hard.
messaging, tone, cadence, body language, and delivery.
But his
That's
whole
what it
body
comes down
language,
to.
his whole tone was very
Mhm,
disgusting. It was just,
mhm. Mhm.
It was no saving that. It was no saving that.
Mhm.
It
Yeah.
was no saving
Again, it goes back to the whole theme of this thing: messaging, tone, cadence, and body language and intent. What was
Again,
your
can we
intent?
just wrap that one up with a bow? Just the intent.
Yes, because that's true. Like, what was your true intent?
And I think
Behind
that's
doing
when
it?
people are saying, "Oh, it's not my tone, it's not my messaging, it's not that." What people are over is your intent. We saw
Mhm,
your intent was nasty. That's no different
mhm,
from how some people can do all of this and give
mhm,
all of this, and you
mhm,
know their intent was still
mhm,
good, and you can
mhm.
get past that because that's just who they are. But as some
Right.
people, you know their intent soon as they got there was horrible. No matter how they said it, no matter how they was doing it, you already knew what their
Mhm.
intent was. And I think
Yeah.
that's the time, more importantly, we're in right now, that people have to
Mhm,
talk about in branding. It is your intentions behind what you're doing.
mhm,
And that's what people are seeing in people's brands. It's not the colors,
mhm,
it's not the logos, it's not that stuff. People are not remembering that stuff anymore. It is really the intent and how you're making
mhm,
them feel, how and how you leaving them in that interaction.
mhm, mhm, mhm.
And
Yeah.
messaging is a huge part of that.
Yep. Definitely. Definitely. And just remember, messaging is important, especially right now when you're going to do all your Black Friday sales, you're doing your Giving Tuesday, your Cyber Monday, your year end giving. The message, the intent of the messaging, the way the message is delivered makes a difference. So I
True.
think that's a wrap. What you say, curtain close?
And scene. Yeah.
Okay, and scene.
And
Okay.
scene.
Yeah. All right. You got any last words?
No, besides, again, as always, again, you should be focusing on Black Friday sale, Cyber Monday, Giving Tuesday. Again, Tracy V. Allen, she has a book that's up. You can check out her links. So if you need help with
Mhm.
fundraising, if you are in the whole DMV area and you know that you need new pictures, new imagings, your website and stuff is not clicking, you can also hit me up on social media platforms as well at London Nicole to work with me. And then if you're like, hey, I'm stuck with my brand, I really need help, whether it's internally or externally, getting my brand messaging together, messaging together or my image together, then listen, leave your name below, a comment below, your website below. Talk to us about your brand so we can use your brand one morning and do a really quick brand audit. And more importantly, join us on Friday. Join us on Friday. If you have a digital product, if you're looking to sell something, if you're looking to do something, we'll be live all morning on Friday to talk about our different offers, stuff that we're seeing on social media, different Black Friday sales that maybe you should take advantage of, probably from domains to hosting or something along that line to get you ready
Mhm.
for the top of the year. And then the biggest thing, don't forget, Tracy does have a class coming up December the 5th and 6th. So you have a 2-day experience. So if you have not planned for your quarter one, if you already don't know what you're selling by quarter one, what type of monies you are making, go ahead and knock that out now so you can enjoy the rest of the year. You can enjoy the holiday and the Christmas
Mhm.
and the New Year's because your business is set. And after
Mhm.
you do the stuff, you know you're ready to just jump right into it and sell. Take this class, take the 4 hours, knock down your business, write it out, plan it out. And I know she has tickets up there. And if you need a Black Friday sale, I think she's placing that on sale. I
Yep.
don't want to speak too early for her, but go
No.
ahead and jump into that because, again, I know how you want to enjoy your family time, but you're thinking about your business. Be smart. Go ahead and knock your business
Mhm.
stuff out. So when you're sitting down with your family and you're enjoying and you're doing that stuff, you literally can fill your cup up. You're literally getting the wellness done because you know what I mean, knocked out all the business
Yeah.
stress and that whole type of thing. At least that's how I feel. Knock that
Yeah.
stuff out and enjoy
Definitely.
your holidays. Yeah,
Yeah.
besides you kind of do both and you're upset with your family and mad and angry and stuff. Knock some like pick a struggle.
Mhm.
Pick a struggle and knock your business out. Yeah,
Mhm.
that was all I wanted to say, Tracy.
So I know I'm definitely going to get me some new brand pictures for the new year. So I definitely would be hitting you up about that because I do want like some real good lifestyle and business type pictures for the new year.
Listen.
But all, huh?
I said, listen, isn't that the way? Telling you, we're listening to Cat Williams. Next year is like the year of the
It's the
golden era. It's the
golden year.
golden year. So yeah, like
It's the
go ahead
golden.
and gear up
But
that
he already
25th.
started his planning for next year, right? He bought that studio. Well, that um military base, that old military base, to start planning out
Listen,
the
people
studio.
are gearing
So
up. People
then he
are
said,
already gearing up.
he said, what did he say? Tyler Perry can't take all that pressure no more. Somebody got to relieve him of some of the pressure. So in comes Cat Williams and 50 Cents.
Right. And I was like, they
Mhm.
have a whole different, I feel like what Tyler Perry makes is completely different from what 50 Cent makes. And it's going to be
It's
very
going to be
interesting. And
different.
you said that before too, what Cat
Mhm.
Williams makes. So
Yeah.
again, remember your content and who you're trying to
Mhm.
make your content to and why you're making your content. And that's the biggest thing. And it's going to stick
Mhm.
out different. And value is
Yeah.
what you give meaning to. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's because I
Mhm.
think we say value so much. It's what you're giving meaning to about whatever topic that you
Mhm.
want to discuss. What's important about that topic? What are the problems that are arising from that topic? And stop
Mhm.
thinking everybody knows. The same way you don't count people's money, you can't count people's
Count
knowledge.
up. Right.
You can't,
Exactly.
the
Very
same way you
true.
can't count. You can't. Because I be thinking everybody understands branding, and somebody went
Mhm.
to school for mechanics. Why would I think he know about branding? He don't know.
Right.
That's what he went to school for, and a lot of times we do that. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm excited about tomorrow. I'm excited about Black Friday. I'm excited about next year. So I'm excited.
Mhm. Yeah. Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. All right. Until tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. We'll see you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Uh,